what is a mindset and what sort of purpose does it serve?
We define mindsets as core beliefs or assumptions that orient us to a particular set of expectations, explanations, and goals. Mindsets are an assumption that you make about a domain. For example, the nature of stress. What's your sort of core belief about that? Do you view stress as enhancing, good for you, or do you view it as bad for you? Mindsets change what we expect will happen to us and also change our motivation for our thinking and action.
Many people are familiar with Carol Dweck's notion of growth mindset. If we're not proficient at something, that we should think about we're on some path to proficiency.
Carol Dweck's work originated from thinking about core beliefs about the nature of intelligence or ability. Do you believe that your intelligence are fixed, static, set throughout the rest of your life? Or do you believe that they can grow and change? They matter in shaping our motivation. If you have the mindset that intelligence is malleable, you're motivated to work harder to grow your intelligence. If you have the mindset that it's fixed, why work harder at math if you don't think you're good at it? They also shape physiological mechanisms, mindsets about illness. Do you view cancer as an unmitigated catastrophe, or do you view cancer as manageable? Do you view side effects as a sign that the treatment is harmful, or do you view side effects as a sign that the treatment is working? And these are sort of core beliefs or assumptions you have about these domains. They're shaping the way we're thinking, what we're motivated to do, and even how our bodies respond. Placebo effects are simply taking a sugar pill under the impression that it's a real medication can lead to the physiological effects, even though there's no objective nutrients. When people thought they were consuming the high-fat milkshake, their bodies responded as if they had consumed more food, even though it was the exact same shake. Our mindsets interact with our physiology in ways that produce outcomes. The mindset that work was just work hard led them to feel tired. And we told them that their work was good exercise. They lost weight. They decreased their blood pressure. Stress, meaning encountering adversity or challenge in one's goal-related efforts, does not have to be debilitating. The body's response was designed to enhance our ability to manage at those moments. Stress narrows our focus, increases our attention, speeds up the process information. Physiological toughening, the process build our muscles, build our neurons to help us grow and learn. Post-traumatic growth, in which even the experience of the most traumatic could lead not to destruction, but to an enhanced sense of connection with our values, connection to others, sense of joy and passion for living. You view health diagnosis as a challenge or a threat. When you view stressors as a challenge, your brain and body responds more adaptively. Do you view stress as something that's bad and therefore should be avoided? Or do you view stress as natural and something that's going to enhance us? And more enhancing stress mindset was linked to better health outcomes, better well-being, and higher performance. In the wake of the 2008 financial crisis that was undergoing pretty massive amounts of layoffs, employees were stressed about being laid off, taking on more pressure. Some watched the Stress Could Enhance You videos. Empowering images like LeBron James making the free throw in the final minute. There was a total of 9 minutes of videos. The changes in their mindsets about stress. People who watched the enhancing films had fewer backaches, muscle tension, insomnia, racing heart. They also reported performing better at work compared to those who watch the debilitating videos. Having a stress as enhancing mindset doesn't mean the stressor is a good thing. It doesn't mean that getting a cancer diagnosis is a good thing or being in abject poverty is a good thing. The experience of the stress associated with the challenge, the adversity, that can lead to enhancing outcomes, our cognition, our health, our performance, and our well-being. People who have a stress as debilitating mindset tend to go to one or the other of those extremes. They freak out or they check out. If stress is bad, you need to either get rid of it or it needs to not exist. Oh, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to deal with it. You're basically in denial. If you have a stress as enhancing mindset, the motivation changes. How do I utilize the stress to realize the enhancing outcomes. What can we do to learn from this experience to make us stronger, deepen my relationships with others, improve my priorities? The motivation changes, the affect around it changes. People who have a stress is enhancing mindset have more positive affect. It changes physiology. Mindsets are a portal between conscious and subconscious processes. They operate as a default setting of the mind. What is my stress mindset? How am I thinking about stress? Can I reprogram that? Can I start to think about it as more enhancing? That takes a little bit of a conscious work, potentially. But once you do that, that can operate in the background, influencing how your body responds. The real challenge is, how do we leverage it? How do we utilize it? How do we work with it? And this negative stress mindset is so insidious that people define stress with its negative consequences. So the first step is to realize that stress is a neutral. How can I better utilize or leverage or respond to the inevitable stresses that we're going to experience? And we've developed a 3-step approach to adopting a stresses enhancing mindset. And the first step is to just acknowledge that you're stressed. The second step is to welcome it, because inherently in that stress is something you care about. The third step is to utilize the stress response to achieve the thing you care about, not spend your time, money, effort, energy trying to get rid of the stress. Treat yourself like a scientist. Look at your mindsets, find more useful, adaptive, and empowering mindsets and live by those. Any athlete knows that you can be the same physical being and perform completely differently just depending on what you're thinking. I was a gymnast growing up, and my father was a martial artist, a teacher of meditations. This kind of mind-body work was baked into me from an early age. What I've done recently is to try to understand it scientifically and to figure out, how can we do better with this? What more can I do with the power of my mind?